basically got before Leif joined was the bare bones of these tunes, the melody, the chord sequence. That was it. They didn't really have any groove or anything. Whereas now, sort of Tom filled up with his bass line all the parts that needed putting in to give it that groove. Because I can't lay a groove down on a guitar. A guy can't groove with a guitar. You need that bass in there to give it that. And that was what kicked it all off. And then all of a sudden, with that, from nowhere, all the songs just start coming out. We'd be practicing one night, and we'd just start playing. And what is up with Phil?
The whole stage just before Tom joined, went through a whole stage of trying to write, because we had this big thing in our head where we're going to be a blues band, and we're going to write blues songs, and it's going to be just as a proper 3-chord jobby, but make it a bit more interesting. And we were getting nowhere, so we stopped deciding to write blues songs and just decided that we're going to write songs. And just like with any old riff that we get, any melody we get, just lob it in there and see how it goes. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, then we had a go. And I think the reason that we've actually ended up with an album's worth of material that's predominantly our own is because we took that step to just sort of go ahead and write songs and see how they happen. And if it comes out as a blues number, that's great, but it sometimes comes out as funk, it sometimes comes out as rock. But just to go with that.
Most of the time it comes out as a bit of everything.
Yeah, most of the time, as Tom said, it just comes out as a mixture, which is probably a fair representation of what we do, because we've all got very different influences. So it's good in that way.
Quite a lot. People tell me they can't understand somebody my age liking the blues. They say, no, people are middle-aged, you can't understand me liking music that's older than I am. How do you feel about playing this kind of stuff?
I like it. I like it. I just like playing. I mean, it's not old style blues though, is it? That we play. It's not even. I mean, it's still the blues, but it's not the blues.
Yeah, I mean, it's our way of playing the blues, isn't it? I mean,
the way it is blues is because it's like Ash likes blues, Trevor likes blues, and then you've got us two, which we like blues. We don't listen to it, or we don't play bluesy style. So when you put the two together, you can't help it being a bit more modern.
But the blues is such a wide term anyway, isn't it?
Yeah. Your bit was short, Tom. It's still going.
Yeah, Trevor, I was going to get you in on this debate. We're wondering. I'm always told by older people they can't understand my generation liking the blues, or certainly me liking the blues. What's the go of your age listening to music that's twice his age?
That's quite an incorrect question, really, when you consider that most blues was written by guys of, if you like, my age, Ashley's age. Robert Johnson wasn't even 30 when he died, and he'd written 29 of the finest.
Still wrote a long time ago, though.
Yeah, still old. It's old music.
It's old music, and I can see why people say, well, you're very young to be listening to that.
Get it all the
point
time.
I'm trying to make is it was written by people of our age group who, at the time, it was written for our age group as well. And if you look at it from that standpoint, it makes perfect sense that we'll be into it.
Some of them were 17 and 18 when they started.
Well, Muddy Waters was. Lee King started when he was 16 on a plantation, and he was getting $10 a week as opposed to $2 a week working the plantation.
And he says at the end of every gig he always thanks God for making what he is, he says, and he thinks about the days of when he was on the field. He always says.
Right. Well, Muddy Waters would work often 36 hours. He'd work her down in the field. Then this is when he was 18. Then he'd go out and do songs that he'd written at 18, which is where he made his name. Then he'd continue. He'd finish the gig, literally go home, get changed, and go out and work again.
It sounds like you were there, wasn't it, Trevor?
I was, mate. I travel through time. But the point is, no, it's not. I don't think it's right to say that we're too young to play, or it's too old for us. It was written by people of our age group for people of our age group who are going to do the same thing.
That's like saying to a classical musician, you're too young to be playing.
Yeah,
that's my retort entirely.
No one turns around to Ashley Watts and says, well, you're too young to play classical. They just say, what a great piano player. What a great young talent.
That's my put down all the time.
Whereas with us, it's rare, but it happened in the 60s from the same age group of people as us. And sooner or later it's going to start happening again. Because all blues music is about, it's not about how old you are, or even how you feel, it's just about life.